recently I've been asked a lot more like, "Hey, Lance, what books would you recommend to read? What you know, on a whole variety of topics." So, I thought I'd do this one. Maybe if this one goes good, I'm gonna give you like my what I'm planning to read too, or something, right? So, first off, I'm gonna go and do this. So, uh, Orthodox books that I would recommend. So if you're like looking into Orthodoxy, right? Um, I would do this book, The Orthodox Way. It's by Bishop Callistus Ware. It's a very good book to read. It will teach you uh, generally the doctrines of the Orthodox Church. Um, I would recommend you read this by Athanasius. Um, it's about the life of St. Anthony and the letter to Marcinellus, and it is a book about the monastic life. So, if you're interested in that, I would read that. This one, it's one of my favorites. Wounded by Love. I try to read this um, every December, about like kind of before the new year starts, right? Um, it's a book by Elder Porphyrios, Saint Porphyrios. And it's a really good book. It has a lot of spiritual wisdom that I think everybody would benefit from. So I recommend that book, right? For doctrine, obviously, like Orthodox Church by Sergius Bulgakov. I will recommend Bulgakov any day, right? Anybody that watches my channel, or anybody that knows me, Bulgakov is highly recommended. Um, Alexander Schmemann, I don't think I said his name right, but if you want to learn about the Eucharist, this book, very good book. It'll teach you about the Eucharist. Um, Another book by Alexander Schmemann. I can never say his name right. This is a history book, and it is the historical road of Eastern Orthodoxy. So, that one's pretty good. Pretty good one to read. Um, Highly recommend that one. Uh, let's see here. I'm gonna do some more Orthodox ones, but for this one, if you want some good history, Christian history, this is by Jazz Esner, or yeah, Elsner. My bad, Jazz Elsner, and it is called Imperial Rome and Christian Triumph, and it's a art history book by Oxford, and um, gives a lot of history. It gives a lot of good stuff there, right? So I highly recommend that one. You can learn. It's really interesting. You can learn a lot of the Greco-Roman art, right? Greco-Roman art history. So highly recommend that one. Actually, I really think you should buy that one if you're interested in history. Um, so let's see. I'm gonna get back into the Orthodox books, but um, if you're interested in Second Temple Judaism, uh, you might want to read these books. Okay, so this one's called God's Heroes and Monsters, and it's by Carolina Lopez Ruiz, and it's another Oxford book. I tend to like Oxford, I guess, but it's from Oxford, and it gives you a source book of Greek, Roman, and Near Eastern myths and translation. So, uh, highly recommend that one because then you can learn ancient Near East and Greco-Roman pagan for context. If you're doing Bible stuff like I do, very good stuff to learn, right? Very good to like get that kind of knowledge. Highly recommend that one. And since it's Second Temple period, this one, Enoch and the Gospel of Matthew, very good book. It's by Amy E. Richter, and You should read it. It's interesting. She gets into how Matthew uses Enoch. So, yeah, a lot of people don't know that one, but she shows pretty definitively that Matthew is using Enoch as a bit of a source. So, good book to read. All right, so now some of my favorite ones here. So this is Alan F. Segal. He is a Jewish writer, a Jewish scholar, and he teaches the other Judaisms in the other Judaisms of late antiquity, and then this one's his best one, Two Powers in Heaven. Those two are very good. They're very good books that everybody should read. If you're into Second Temple period literature, you should be reading those. Those are like, uh, like, don't miss out, right? You need to read those. Um, then, let's see here. Unseen Realm by Michael Heiser. You can't go wrong if you read Michael Heiser, okay? Like, you can't go wrong if you read Michael Heiser. So, yeah, I mean, you can't go wrong with him. So, definitely read him. He's going to teach about the Divine Council, and yeah, you should look into that one. It's probably a good one. Let's see here. What else do I have here? Okay, so this one, back to Orthodoxy, I guess. This one is called Christ the Conqueror of Hell, The Descent into Hades from an Orthodox Perspective. So, Metropolitan Hilarion Alfea wrote this one, and highly recommend it because it teaches about the doctrine of the descent of Christ into Hades. So, you should read that one. Definitely, Orthodox people that are watching this, you should read that one. That's a good one. Now, this one may be a little more controversial, but I really like it. I think it's got one of the best chapters, chapter 9, I think it was, of this book, like, super good. This is by Hans Urs von Balthasar, so that's a mouthful. It's called Dare We Hope That All Men Be Saved. So it is a hopeful reconciliation universalist kind of book, okay? He's not a universalist, mind you, but he does give the question, is it wrong to dare that we hope that all men be saved? And very beautifully written book. You should all, I think everybody should read that one for sure, okay? Even if you were like, no, I don't, universalism's really ill, it's a good book. Like, you got to check it out. Like, it'll challenge your thinking. It'll challenge you on a lot of stuff. So, anyways, so yeah, I'm gonna keep going here. So, this one, Arise, O God, the Gospel of Christ's defeat of demons, sin, and death. This is by Father Andrew Damick. He's got a podcast, lots of podcasts actually, on Ancient Faith Radio. That's where you can find him on some stuff, but that is a good book. He talks about, obviously, the gospel and Christ's defeat of Satan, sin, and death in that one. It's a really good one. Let's see. Then we have this one. I highly recommend this one, Benjamin Cabe, on Gender and the Soul. Benjamin Cabe, he goes into the church fathers and he's like exploring it. He's like, what did the church fathers think on sex and gender, right? And how they think of it with the soul too. So it's a good one. I use it quite a bit actually when I'm talking to people. So yeah, I recommend that one. It's a good read. It's a very good read actually. This one, I recommend this one when I'm dealing with full preterists. So, Theology of the Body, very necessary when you talk to a full preterist. So this is by Jean-Claude Larchet, and I think he's French, sounds French. probably is French. But the French, they come out with good theology books sometimes, and this one's a very good one. It's short, easy to read, and gets to the point, and everybody can read that one, and it's good. It's a good one. All right, so if you've been ever wondering about the Old Testament sacrifices, and maybe the New Testament too, this one, Welcoming Gifts, Sacrifices in the Bible and the Christian Life by Father Jeremy Davis. So it's a big book, very good book. You should get this one. It's all about the sacrifices of the Old Testament, and yeah, so theology nerds, you know what to do. You know what to do. Get this book. You'll like it. Let's see. If you've ever wondered, hey, what about like Joshua and all the wars that they did? Well, you could read Father Stephen DeYoung and read God as a Man of War. Had to make sure I grabbed the right book, right? The problem of violence in the Old Testament. He's not going to solve the problem, but he does bring up some good points and some good things to consider when you're reading through Joshua and some of those really hard to read parts in the Bible, right? So I always highly recommend Father Stephen DeYoung. I always do, obviously. Then let's see, what else? This one, The Whole Counsel of God. If you need an introduction to your Bible, this is highly recommended. If I was a priest or if I was doing catechism, I would recommend read this book, The Whole Counsel of God. Highly recommend. If you're needing to learn about the Apocrypha, another Father Stephen DeYoung book, the Apocrypha, he goes through it and introduces the extra-biblical literature of the Orthodox Church, and yeah, anybody can benefit from that. Then we have The Religion of the Apostles, another great catechism book, right? You could use that for catechism. The Religion of the Apostles, Orthodox Christianity in the First Century. So he shows how we still carry over from the first century, the way that we worship, the way that we do things in the Orthodox Church. So last but not least, obviously, people that want to know, like, hey, what books do you recommend? Like, because we know you love eschatology, Lance, right? What books do you highly recommend, like Against Full Preterist and all this stuff, right? Well, I recommend this book by Steve Gregg. He's a Protestant scholar, theologian. He's got this book called Why Not Full Preterism, and he gives a partial preterist response to full preterism. I don't necessarily agree with everything, but I am mentioned in this book, and hey, I should probably recommend, like, because if people read that, they're gonna like, hey. So, I'm actually in the foreword, which is kind of cool. Got my book in there too, Hope Resurrected. So, yeah, that's a shameless plug, right? I guess. But it's a good book though. Like, highly recommend that book. So what else here? So, I highly recommend St. Andrew of Caesarea. He gives a commentary, 6th century, on the book of Revelation, and Presbytera Eugenia Constantino. I hope I didn't butcher her last name, but this one, I highly recommend her. She translated this book, translated the commentary of St. Andrew of Caesarea. Very good book to read, okay? You can't go wrong reading that one. Now, this one is a really good one. This is a late-date preterist. This guy is Edmondo F. Lupieri, okay? And he gives a commentary on the Revelation, right? So, highly recommend that one. It'll give you kind of close to what my perspective is, honestly. But very good book, nonetheless. Highly recommend it. This one, I also very highly recommend this one. This guy did a lot of good work in his book here. It is Richard E. Oster Jr. Actually got this recommended by Kenneth Gentry. I think I got it recommended. Lou Pierre also, Kenneth Gentry recommended I read it, right? So, this one is a commentary on Revelation 1 through 3, which you'd be like, oh, okay, that seems kind of like he didn't do the rest, but it's a good book. You probably would enjoy it. Seven Congregations in a Roman Crucible, a commentary on Revelation 1 through 3. So I highly recommend this one, actually. Like, super good book. Super good book. I actually, if I ever do a Revelation commentary, I am going to probably cite Lou Pierre and Oster quite a bit, actually. And I'll also quote this guy, Albertus Pieter's. And he is a guy from the 1800s. He writes this it's a bunch of studies on the book of Revelation, but it got put together as a little bit of a commentary of sorts. And he would go down as a late-date preterist also. Albertus Pieter's, highly recommend you read that book. So, that's kind of it. That's actually it for my recommendation. Obviously, read the Bible. You should always read the Bible, right? Yeah, so those are just some of my recommendations. I think I might give like books I'm planning to read at some point, but I don't know. We'll see. See how this kind of goes with it. But yeah, so those are my recommendations, and I hope you know, if you're into that stuff, yeah, read it and get some of those books. And if you like them, let me know if you like them, right? Let me know if they helped you out in any way. So, thank you. God bless. If you like this podcast, hit like and subscribe. It'll help my algorithm and help me reach out to other people too. So, anyways, I'm about to go. So thank you. I'll talk to y'all later.